Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here on this Wednesday morning. Once again, I tricked myself. Welcome, everybody, to the third episode in a row of the morning DYOR. Kind of taking over from the Crypto Coffee from Jason and Melanie. Bringing you just some crypto and digital asset news in the morning all week. And what we do is we come on here from 9 to 10 Eastern time this week. And we lead into Crypto Lifer's technical analysis show that he does for 2 hours every day at 10 a.m. Eastern. We've got a good show for you today. Today, if you haven't noticed from the thumbnail and the promo material, title was Digital Assets and the New Economy. Digital assets. Sorry, I'm starting to get a little bit of a cold here, so I'm a little nasally. Digital assets and the crypto world have kind of taken over the new world. And so we're going to get to that. Obviously, we're going to talk still a little bit about Bitcoin, as that is still highly in the news. Actually, everything's in the news. I'm trying to I get on here and I have my topics list to talk about for the day, and it goes to hell because Bitcoin's been pumping, and that brings good news for everything else. So we've got a good show for you today. So let's get her going. I love it. I love those little ditties in the morning, even though every time I play them, I get a copyright claim against them. YouTube, come on, man, you got to do better. I've got a license for it. I put the license in every time, and I still get a copyright claim, which causes me an extra 10 minutes of fighting that. I shouldn't say fighting it. I should say filling out the appeal, and it's nice. But come on, YouTube, get it together with your copyright claim system. If you do it once, you shouldn't have to do it again. Anyway, I love those morning ditties like that, and like I always say, we get a big drop-off in viewers there when that plays. Come on, people. Don't be as fickle as that. Get through the little intro, because us creators love to do those things. Somebody asked me what the J is on my cup. It's not my name. My name is Tom. My son's name begins with J. And each of my kids have their own coffee mug here, which I use. Anyway, let's see if I can get a little, turn this background music off here. Just put it on lightly. Provide a little ambiance. Getting harder and harder to find music you can put on in the background of your show if you broadcast on YouTube. They copyright everything. And even the free stuff that's out there. Royalty-free, copyright-free, and all this type of stuff. Nefarious outfits, licensing outfits, go and find it. And then they put a copyright on it. And you have to fight it because it's just a pain in the ass. It's like, I don't know if you... in the United States, the Library of Congress is in charge of copyright and all the images and everything. And you can donate, if you're an artist, you can donate, or a photographer, donate your works to the Library of Congress, and they will keep it forever. And it's public domain. What Getty Images does, those slugs, is they download those images, put them in their system for sale, and sell them, which is legal. You can sell, if someone gives their stuff away for free, you can sell it. So when you use the Library of Congress image, Getty Images puts a copyright claim on you or a takedown. It's ridiculous. But you just have to fight it, which is a pain in the ass. You shouldn't have to do that. It's public domain. You should never have to fight it or deal with a takedown. Nope. Thank you, Getty Images. You guys suck the big one. Anyway, I've been rambling on long enough here this morning. Thank you to the people joining me on Twitch, few of you. It's very nice. Very nice of you to join. Everyone give me a second while I get a little social media out here. Live now. Why is my keyboard working? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Control X. I want to quote tweet. There we go. For those of you driving to work, hopefully, Jason, you are driving to work. You can tune us on like we are a radio show, bringing you all the best. Traffic in Oklahoma is just not a problem today, Jason. Is it ever a problem? Maybe if you head towards the city, but where you live, nope, not a problem. For those of you listening in Chicago, man, they dropped another screwball on you. Just finished a 10-year project rebuilding one of the main highways through town. It literally just finished it a couple of weeks ago. And now they announced 3 or 4 years of more construction on the same road. You think it was a full-time job setup or something. Anyway, like I said, I'm getting some people to come in here. Join us for this morning. Usually we're good. Usually we see Chuck Jansen here of the DYOR project. Come and visit us. What's going on here? All right. Thank you to everybody on LinkedIn. Appreciate it. And we've got actually got some viewers on my content delivery network, Vimeo. We're on Roku. They don't give me any live info. I wish they did. That would be a great benefit. Let's see. Let's quickly go over the morning messages from yesterday. Tom, you suck. Well, we know that. Most of the messages this morning are related to what you see on the TV here behind me. The president's economic report to Congress. And one of the things I wanted to talk about today, we'll talk about that in the second half of the show. The first half of the show, one of the things that we always like to talk about on these shows is the concept of DYOR, doing your own research, thus the DYOR Media Network. We're not doing in-depth research here. We're not doing technical analysis. We save that for other people. Because the essence of do your own research, it kind of means two things. One, you're responsible for your own research and your own financial decisions. Two, but it's also meant is really to help new people, because people that have been in the financial markets or in crypto for a while can do their own research. It's plugged in their head. That's what they do. All day they do research before they make a trade or something like that. And new people use the term FOMO, in that they just FOMO into projects without thinking about things. And so what we end up with is the kind of the mantra of what I've been doing up here for a while is trying to appeal to the audiences that are kind of new at this. And that's kind of why I started broadcasting this on LinkedIn and Roku, is to get that different crowd that either is just getting into crypto or is just thinking about it, saying, well, there's a lot about it in the news, and the news, it depends your country, what news you get. In the U.S., the news is always bad if you listen to the mainstream media. In Canada, it's bad. In most European countries, it's great. In South American countries, if it's a democracy, it's fantastic. If it's a dictatorship, the news says it's awful. But the point is, hold on. Sorry, glitching a little bit here. Anyway, the point was, depending on where you are in the world, you get a different viewpoint of crypto from the mass media. And I'm here to kind of help people bring home the thought that this is an acceptable place of investment. It's an acceptable place of utility for using its products. And it's frankly, it's revolutionary and going to take over the world. The message from their mass media that things are terrible, and I know they're not getting fleeced of their money by listening to the news, but they're getting the wrong impression. Thus, they're going to start out incorrectly in crypto. What the U.S. government is pushing on everybody is bad news. Like, crypto stinks. If a different political party was in power, crypto would be good. They have a strong blockchain caucus. So, like I said, we're going to talk about that, the political end of it later. But now what I'm talking about is digital assets in the new economy. And the new economy meaning pretty much since crypto started taking over the world, and how digital assets can benefit you, what they are, and how do they kind of wrap into your everyday life now. And let me tell you, they wrap into your everyday life. All right, it's kind of amazing how quickly once you participate in it, it gets into it. So it gets into your life. So what are digital assets? Digital assets, first of all, think of the money in your bank. It's digital. I mean, most of the money that you handle every day and you pay bills with is digital. You don't pay most of the stuff in cash. Cash is only used for 30% of transactions now in the U.S., down from 100% 40 years ago, or whatever it was, and most of us in the Western world lead our lives with digital cash. It has nothing to do with crypto or anything like that. It's just numbers on a bank, and that's what most of the banking system is now. The Fed creates money by lending, by basically turning on the money printer, which is not actually printing money. It's just lending money to banks. Banks take that, put that out in the economy, and the economy does what it can with that. It's all digital. So everyone understands that. Your credit card's digital, your bank account's digital. So why are people now talking about the new digital asset economy? And we've been doing, online banking for years. There's a difference, because the traditional online banking system and digital money, everything has to go through kind of a central authoritative place, meaning your bank. Your bank controls where you send your money. Your bank controls whether you have access to that money or not. And your bank controls everything about it. And if you don't satisfy all the requirements, which are hefty nowadays, you're not allowed to bank with them. There's plenty of banks that just won't take certain people to bank with them. Just, it's not going to happen. Your credit report isn't good. They want a higher end customer. All the regional banks basically take everyone in their area, but they have a lot of restrictions. Say you have $20,000 that you've saved up in your account and you want to send it to someone. My God, you think they were just thinking everybody was a terrorist. It's like, I want to send $10,000 to my uncle in Cameroon. As you may suspect, I don't have an uncle in Cameroon. But the bank, literally the policies of the bank and the banking industry, as set forward by the U.S. government, automatically treat you as an adversarial person doing that, saying that if you're sending money to someone, it must be a scam. Either you're getting scammed and we've got to look out for you, or you're obviously a terrorist or drug dealer, or you're trying to hide money from the IRS. And so you have to fill out a questionnaire, you have to meet with a banker, or you have to fill out a long form in order to be able to do this send it wire transfer ACH through their website. Basically, you have to be proven to the bank's satisfaction that you or your company are legitimate. And that's not right. Your money is your money. You should be able to send it to whomever you want for whatever reason without anybody knowing about it. Just like in the old days when Farmer Jim would pay Farmer John they'd trade cows for corn. They didn't have to tell anybody that they were doing that. They just did it. Or when you have cash and you give it to someone, you give $20 to your kid. Do you have to KYC with the government for that? No. Obviously, there are reasons to KYC for things, but for 90%, 99% of transactions in the economy, there's no need for that. And in the U.S., we have somewhat of a right to privacy that got whittled down by the Supreme Court recently, but we have a right to be private in our affairs, and it's just being ignored because of the data brokers. Not going into that later. That's for another show, complaining. What I'm trying to teach you about is digital assets. And so with the creation, with the old digital money, everything goes to your bank. There's a central authority in charge of it. They can take your money. They can stop you from doing things. They control how you do things to the point where you can only spend so much money during the day unless you apply to be able to spend more money. And they pay you this much money for it. It's very ridiculous amounts of money. And not only that, but because banks are in the business of loaning your money, since interest rates are so low, you're basically giving them an unsecured loan for free. And if you're one of the lucky people that has more than $250,000 in the account, everything over $250,000 is at risk. If the bank fails, it's gone. Your money's gone. So the system was developed so that you have to use the bank. You have to give them a loan for your money. And they don't have to pay you back if you happen to be one of the people that has more than $250,000. You might think, well, someone that's $250,000 in the bank, so what if they lose that extra $300,000? That's not my problem. Well, it is, because it might be your employer, and it might be your payroll account, and suddenly your bank didn't fail. You're very good at your banking and your finances, but your employer banked with Silicon Valley Bank, and then their payroll account disappears. So all these little things affect everybody. Now, that being said, with the digital economy, the new digital assets, it's different. But striking, tell me why. Why is it different? Come on, someone ask me, why is it different? Let me check in here on the old Striking's Crypto Smackdown room here. Striking, why is the new digital economy and digital assets different than the old one? The basic way to describe it for everyone that's new to what is a digital asset, for everyone's parents or grandparents that are listening to this on a podcast somewhere where it gets syndicated, the new digital assets mean you own something and you control its possession yourself. You control it on your phone or on your computer, and you have access to it 24/7. It's not under anyone else's control, unless you have voluntarily put it somewhere, someone else's control for storage, like on a central exchange, like on an NFT sales site or something like that. And even that's not a good example. But the point is that it's yours to do with whatever you want, without anyone telling you. Not only that, but the digital asset definition expands to a much larger point of view than just what you want to spend for groceries or something like that. And that's where the word tokenization comes in. And tokenization means people get confused by it. Oh, tokens, digital, blah, blah, blah. It just means that they make available things that are traditionally in the physical world, or represented by marketing materials in the physical world, like a fund. They take those items and they make portions of them ownership into a digital asset. Meaning that, like a good example would be the tokenization of people that own private jets and share them, like NetJets and things like that. Right now, you join as a member, you apply to be a member, you're part of their membership program. And you can sell that back to the company, and a new person can come buy it. If they were to change those ownerships into digital assets, then you would have that ownership on your phone. And anytime you wanted to rent a jet, boy, I'd love to have this problem. Anytime you wanted to rent a jet, you would click approve it in your wallet, bang, your reservation would go through, and all would be good. And then you say, I'm done with this jet company, I want to sell it. You say, Jimmy over here says, I'll buy it. And so you just send it to him. Now he owns the membership. And so it's taking physical things in the real world, like memberships, seat licenses at a baseball stadium or football stadium, even shares in real estate, but that's a total quagmire because of local ownership rules wherever you are. And we'll get into that. That's for a whole nother show. And make it available for you to own that share of it right on your wallet and be able to do with it as you please. Trade it to someone else. A good example is somebody I follow a lot is taken the ownership of wine as it's produced and turned it into NFT tokens. I'm trying to stay away from the word from NFTs because that connotates these stupid cartoon ape things that are worthless. Tom, how do you really feel about that? They're worthless. But I digress. But so the digitization of owning that bottle, say the winery makes a special 100-bottle series, normally they put a little serial number on it. And whoever owns the bottle owns it. Seems quite simple, huh? But a lot of wines, they don't want to ship around all the time because it could lead to spoilage, it could lead to breakage, theft, and all that. So now what they do is they've taken that serial number and made it into a blockchain entry. And that blockchain entry is then owned by your digital wallet. And so you own it yourself, right on your own wallet. You own it, and you can do whatever with you want. You can give it to your friend. You can sell it to someone. You can put it up for auction, or you can burn it. You can say, I'm sending this to the dead address, and then the winery will never have anyone to send it to. And so, in essence, the wine will sit in their cellar forever. So there's really interesting ways that tokenization is going to kind of shrink the economy and make access to products much easier for all types of people. That's what digital assets means. It means in the new economy. It means that the things that you've typically bought in your life in the physical world with cash, you're able to buy parts of, shares of, or all of, and hold that proof of ownership right on your phone or on your computer, and you can do with it whatever you want without someone telling you what to do. I realize there are certain projects out there that have tokenized things or made things into digital assets that do force you to sell them back through them and kind of act as a central broker for that, the minority of things right now. But mostly, sorry, I get a little distracted by a comment here. Thank you very much. Appreciate you watching this morning. Jimmy, wherever you're coming from, I appreciate it. Let's see what else we got here. Thank you to my loyal 4 viewers on Twitch. Thank you very much. Like I say, these morning shows, they're meant to educate and provide a little entertainment in the morning. And so as the description about digital assets kind of comes to a close here, the second half of our show is going to be about the economic report of the president here and how the White House is trying to pull the wool over everyone's eyes. With that, I'm going to take a quick break to refill my tea. I will be right back. Let's see if once again, I had my commercial. Be right back. All right, that was good enough. Quick refill for the morning juice. I had to stop drinking so much coffee. I used to drink a bunch of cups a day. Doctor said, Tom, that coffee is no good for you. He also said a few other things were not good for me, too. Oh, docs. What are we going to do with doctors? Well, this part of the show is about this is what I have on the screen here. The economic report of the president transmitted to Congress March 2023. Now, if you've listened to any of my shows the past couple of days, you'll have heard me talk about the hearings that were happening on Capitol Hill prior to the last election, specifically in the House of Representatives, which is controlled by the Democrat Party here in the U.S., and for that matter, in Canada, the Liberal Party is in control of Parliament there. And they have a similar outlook on crypto. Canada is using the outlook on crypto to beat up on their opponents. Because the opponents started talking about crypto when it was at its highs, and of course it went down. And then they started saying, ha, you guys are losers. Crypto went down. It's not good for anybody. They're noticeably quiet the past few weeks as Bitcoin is pumped. Yes, JT, you know who I'm talking about, or Mr. Butts. Anyway, and in the U.S., the previous House of Representatives, before the new party came in to take control, held hearing after hearing after hearing, just beating up crypto. They brought in witnesses from everywhere that just said there's no use for crypto. Senator Elizabeth Warren was particularly brutal on it. A couple other, we'll use a nice word. A couple other representatives on the House side, in the House Banking Committee, were particularly vociferous, is the word I'm looking for, in their opposition to crypto. And once again, having witnesses come on saying that there's no use for crypto. The economic report I have here, I could page through it. It's 8,000 pages. I can't even tell you how ridiculous it is. I should say I have not read the whole thing, but the part about crypto, in which they talk about how that there's no use for it. It almost parrots the testimony of the witnesses that were against crypto. Now, each of these committees also did have someone for crypto that explained the uses for it and all that. But does this report contain any of that? No. All it talks about is there's no use, and it's failed. Crypto has failed to live up to its expectations and is not even good for it's not even efficient for the payment market. I don't know what these guys are smoking. Literally, the company, I think it's Western Union, who has been transmitting money for 200 years or whatever around the world, said, oh yeah, this is blockchain technology is 1,000 times better. We're just moving to that. And if the settlement process is faster, everything's faster about it. And they avoid the high fees of banks. They avoid the settlement times with banks, and they can work 24 hours a day. Now, admittingly, if you're a large, massive multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar customer, the banks work around your schedule and give you access to their systems 24/7. But you still have settlement times. Especially in international transfers. Say Western Union US needs to send funds to Western Union Europe somewhere. Gotta wait for settlements from the bank. That doesn't happen if you use the blockchain technology. It's settlement instant. Psh, whoop. Good example, even for this show. A while ago, I said I needed some graphics done. Went to Fiverr or Upwork, whichever one it was. Said I just need this small graphic works done. I don't know how to use Adobe After Effects or Premiere or whatever it was at the time. And someone got back to me and said, "Sure, striking. I'll do that for $500." I was like, great. And the way these things work is they do the work. They send you a low-resolution draft of it. It's fine. You know they've done the work. You send them the money, and they hit the button that uploads the high-resolution version. And it works well because to make the low-resolution version, they have to do the high-quality resolution and then dumb it down. So it takes them an extra step. So they have to do the work, so the work's done. And so I paid the guy. Him the equivalent of $500 US. Turns out he was in Croatia. Excuse me. Just an independent contractor, just a guy in Croatia. And what did he want to do? He wanted to get paid in crypto, which is very popular on Fiverr or Upwork. I said, okay. Oops, sorry, hold on a sec. But I might add, this wasn't through the Fiverr platform. I had used him previously. And then for a second project, we did it direct. And he wanted to get paid in crypto. I said, what do you want me to send you? He said, well, anything that's on this exchange, which is all the major things. And so one of the best things to use to transfer from one exchange to another is XLM, Stellar. It's cheap and it's fast. Boom, press the button. Within a few seconds, it registers the transaction is done. And really the longest time that it takes is the other exchange just waiting to get to their threshold of how many validations they want to see in order to release the funds. And one of the things in the White House report, it says it doesn't work for payments because it's too volatile, and nobody wants to assume that risk for payments. They totally left out. The president should have just come and talked to me. I would have set him straight. Okay, I know that's not how it works. There's minions that listen to people that put these things together. But that's not how the payment work system works at all. It's not how it works at all. There's no risk to volatility when using crypto for payment. People are like, what do you mean? Bitcoin goes up and down. All these things are quite volatile. Yes, but how long do you own that volatile instrument? How long do you own it? About 4 seconds. And in 4 seconds, no currency, none of the major currencies that you can use very easily, vary by more than 0.001 percentage in price. So what I do is I have $500 in my crypto account, change it to XLM, hit the send button. He gets it in Croatia instantly, and he says deposit in my bank, and it converts it to euros for him. It was only in crypto for seconds, and it was used as a payment transaction. The government here talks about it as if that both the sender and the receiver are holding on to the volatility. Oh, here are the people responsible for this. No, that's the yeah. Anyway, I appear to be frozen. Oh, really? Well. Oh, now we got the echo, probably. Well. Sorry about that. You think you got your computer all set up and ready to go, and you can still get the blue screen of death. Anyway, I'll edit this back together in post. Where was I? Oh, yeah. President's economic report. I was explaining how they didn't even get it right about payments. They didn't understand. Their assumption was right that there's too much volatility in crypto to effectively use as payment method. But they didn't take the next step and ask the question, how long do you actually own the crypto? And you only own the crypto for about 10 seconds. Just like when you use Western Union and you send $50 to your aunt in Mexico. You're relying on Western Union not going bankrupt during that moment when you're sending it. And do you take that risk? Yes, everybody does. Are you going to give your $50 to Western Union and they're going to say, well, we're going to take 7 years to send it? No, then your risk of them going bankrupt is much larger. It's the same with crypto. You're only using the crypto service for payment transmittal for a few seconds. And so that's an acceptable risk to everybody. And that's why small businesses now accept crypto, and that's why they use it for international payments. Nobody in their right mind that buys services from a company overseas wants to go to the bank and fill out a wire transfer form and have to justify why they want to send it. Not only that, but small businesses don't want to apply and have to have an expensive bank account with very high fees to send a wire transfer once a month overseas to somebody that's doing graphics work for them or making a small gasket or something like that in a cheap country. I shouldn't say in a cheap country, and it's in an inexpensive labor market. There's a lot of small business. Small businesses are most of the businesses in the world. It's not large businesses. Most people are employed in small businesses. Most businesses are small and run that way. And they need to make small payments. And now that the world is bigger, they don't need to make the payments in their village with cows and corn. They don't need to make it in their own city with putting $100 on a horse with a guy and running over somewhere else, or driving the product, an hour away in the company truck. They can buy their services overseas, and the next day it's air freight to you. Or I should say their products, custom-made things that are 3D printed. Or there's factories in Guatemala now that do a lot of the 3D printing, and then they send that stuff to you overnight. And it's a lot cheaper than having a factory make a custom one off of it. And small businesses buy that. And the economic report here by the president says that doesn't happen. Yet we all know it's happening. We all know it's happening, and we all do it. That's just one of the basic things that they get wrong in it. And the other one is that it hasn't lived up to its ability to be anything revolutionary. It's just one big non-entity, they're basically calling it, that is just rife for problems. Of course there's problems. It's new. It's new. Let's go back to the car era. Imagine all the new cars that were just so loud and bang, 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 and smoking and running over everybody because people couldn't control them. There was a huge backlash. Some cities, Cincinnati particularly, said, that's it. If a car is going to operate in the city limits, it has to have a speed governor of 10 miles an hour. That was in like 1910. Now cars are safe. Cars are safe. Before, people used to get killed in cars. Cars have not lived up to their expectation to move people safely. They should stay on the horse because people only get thrown from the horse, or the horse gets spooked and runs away every now and then. But people are generally safe on a horse. These horseless carriages, they're no good. It's basically what the government is telling you, and it's because someone's given them a directive somehow, which is most likely because of lobbying from larger bank organizations and things like that, that this is not a good thing because it's taking away business from the banks. Got to proceed carefully here, everybody. You got to proceed carefully when your own government tells you inaccurate information. Not just the government gets things wrong a lot. We get that. We get that in every organization that puts reports together. Some sort of expert can look at it and say, nah, that's not right. There's a lot of topics. I mean, see anything that comes out about healthcare. The half of it is wrong, based on wrong assumptions, misinformation. Just you're like, no, that's not how it works. And so to have this economic report come out with inaccuracies in it is not unexpected. It is normal, and it sucks. The difference, though, and this is the difference. The difference is that this is intentional. This is intentional. This is the result of a lot of money being lobbied to the Democratic Party to put the brakes on it. The weird thing is that just like in the U.S. and in Canada, the financial reports that elected officials have to submit shows that a lot of them that are in the parties that are against digital assets own digital assets. That's right. In Canada, it was a bombshell. When they were beating up the Conservative Party, the Liberal Party was just beating them up, saying, this is awful. Everyone that's in it's a scammer. You, by doing this, you've caused old people to lose all their retirement money. You're terrible. Which, of course, is not true. And then somebody took the wise idea to comb through the financial reports that elected officials in Canada have to file. It turns out, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of them owned crypto. They're like this. Yeah. Same going in the U.S. A lot of the elected officials and their family members, especially their children, own crypto. Yet here we see this report, which is basically the result of a huge lobbying effort. Started out at the ground roots of lobbyists meeting with elected officials, policymakers. Policymakers met with their boss, briefed them on things. Said this is only for North Korea and terrorism, not small businesses paying for things. And that finds their way all the way up to the President of the United States' report. And we know, everybody knows that there's no way the current President of the United States had anything to do with this at all. He can barely even walk, never mind do anything else. And so we know this is a result of the lobbyists pushing our elected officials to put this out. And it's basically turned it into an adversarial time in the U.S. for crypto. I could go on about this all day, ladies and gentlemen, but I only have an hour. And I had the blue screen of death within it here. Over on my screen over here, I've got the Crypto Lifer. He's coming up in 5 minutes to start his show. I'm trying to get the ability for the Crypto Lifers. For the viewers of this show on YouTube to be pushed over there on auto magically, which would be a nice thing. I would end it right now and put everyone in their queue. But because I had the blue screen of death, that's not happening, ladies and gentlemen. That is not happening. Let's quickly hit the social media and see if people have any questions about stuff. Let's see. LinkedIn, the stream is... it came back. Oh, nope. Stream ended. Shut that down. Let's see. Let's go to YouTube. No new comments since I had to restart it. On Twitter. Let's see. Twitter. Yes. Thank you. Whatever. I can't pronounce that name. But thank you. Yes. Digital assets are the way of the world. I agree with that. No, real estate is very tough for it. Yeah, there's a big project launching right now. These kids in Switzerland or Germany are building homes in Croatia, and they've making it into a token project. It's launched its pre-sale yesterday, something like that. It's a huge thing. Just real quick before I end the day here I guess I'll make this a topic of a future show. Real estate's very difficult because real estate is local. And so it's hard to sell fractional ownership shares in things that are kind of have local jurisdictions. Unlike timeshares, that's a big industry. The timeshare industry is set so that there's local rules that allow that in that jurisdiction. Say you wanted to set up a timeshare here in Chicago. You apply to the city. The city knows it's a timeshare. They know who the owner of the company is, or I should say the county. County knows who the owner of the company is that's running it, and it's permitted and licensed to be a timeshare for people to use it. And that's a little different than fractional ownership. In many jurisdictions of the world, you can't just make a big fund and go build a house and say you can't put a giant fund together and say, okay, we're gonna build one house in Acapulco, one house in Ibiza, one house here, and everyone, these 100 people are going to have fractional shares of it. Unless you have a local organization operating in each jurisdiction that is licensed and has construction people and maintenance people and management people and all that, and the local jurisdiction allows for this to happen. Because remember, the titles for houses or deeds, most jurisdictions want to know who owns the house, and when that ownership transfers, they want a piece of the pie. So if you take that ownership out of the local control and say, okay, we're going to trade the ownership on an exchange, that breaks the law for the local real estate group, and they can basically seize your property. They can say, no, you can't do that. The owner has to be registered on the deed in the courthouse, and you can't subcontract or sublet the owner. I don't even know the right legal real estate term for it. You can't do that. So real estate projects that are tokenized are very difficult to do right, and very expensive. It almost doesn't even make sense. like I said, unless somebody has unless they focus on one jurisdiction where people in the project are real estate lawyers, are construction people, and they're just using the greater world to raise money for, to build their projects, versus a group just putting a whole bunch of money together and saying, we're going to build houses all over the world and you're going to own parts of them. Generally, all the ones that say they're going to do that are scams. And so whenever anyone sends me, like the project you sent me, I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not promoting any single project on here. Well, sometimes I do promote them, but I tell you that I am. But I'm not promoting a token. Let's put it that way. That project is legitimate. When I first got it, I was like, building real estate around the world, and that's up. And I'm like, that's a scam for sure. And then I checked into it, and no, it's a group of people that have a dedicated construction company in Croatia, in which they're building housing, and they have the legal ability to do that there. And so they're raising money to help build more of it. And then one of these days later, you're gonna, the token will actually represent ownership in their company via unrestricted shares or whatever it is like that. There's a legal way to do that. It's not just, hey, we're going to take your money and build stuff all over the world and we're going to be rich and have Lamborghinis. Those generally are scams. Anyway, thanks for your question about that. I appreciate it. Let's hit some other places real quick here. Mira, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. Let's see. Check Twitch. Oh, my loyal 3 viewers on Twitch. One of which is probably my feed that's monitoring it. Twitch you just get nowhere with. You just get nowhere with at all. Let's see. What else? Check the DMs. Yeah, I agree with that. Kurt, thanks for watching again, Kurt. I appreciate it. I agree with that. The payment systems, like I said, if you're listening to me earlier, payment systems benefit greatly by the blockchain. Can't stress enough how easy it is. If both parties understand crypto, it's so much easier. It's cheaper. Especially if, like my example about paying someone that it turned out to be in Croatia. I didn't. Their English was perfect, and so I thought they were an American, but they're like, no. They're like, my dad was American, so I got an American accent, but I've lived in Croatia my whole life. To pay him, I would have had to give him a credit card, which introduces the potential for fraud with unknown people. I would have had to send a wire transfer. I could have used, we could both have PayPal. That works too, but PayPal is increasingly hostile to sending to international people. And also PayPal has talked about switching their back-end systems to blockchain technology too. What can I say? What can I say? All right, we've got Crypto Lifers running a few minutes late here. See if I can... Well, today is day 3 of my week-long series of shows. Just getting some more content out there, ladies and gentlemen. As many of you know, I have my show Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked that I love to do. That's DYOR. Yeah. And I have all these shows. I have these shows out here for you to watch. And all of my Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked series are shows about things that went wrong and how we can learn from them. And I use a little bit of humor. I try to make it for the new person, like I said in the mantra of the DYOR Media Network. But go and watch them. Looks like Crypto Lifer stream is starting, so I'm going to send everybody over there. Appreciate everyone coming and listening today. And for those of you that are watching on the replay, go ahead and drop a comment, and I will get back to it and answer it. Usually I get it notified pretty quickly. If you've got any questions about digital assets, NFTs, or things like that, and how they may apply to you, let me know. We'll be back on the air tomorrow morning. And we will, I haven't thought about the topic yet. I've got NFTs listed, but I get angry when I talk about NFTs. Anyway, enjoy the day. It's Wednesday morning. The show will be on the air for about a week, and then I will send it off into the abyss. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. See you tomorrow.